We're back at Bullpen Pitch Fest in Minneapolis, and I'm James Zanewicz, the Chief Strategy Officer from Tulane Medicine. I'm here with Martha Farmer from VirTech Bio, and I'm here to ask you a few questions today, if you don't mind. I'm excited to get to know you a little bit more and learn more about your company.
Well, I'm looking forward to this.
Excellent. Well, welcome. And my first question is more about you as a person and your background. How did you get to this point in your career? What have you done? What was your training? Give me some of that background tea.
You do understand that I've been around for a long time. So, okay. Well, I have a PhD from Duke. That was a good start. And I went
We're going to fight, though, because I'm from Kentucky and we still hate Christian Leitner.
What can I say? One of the best parts about Duke is it's a great place to be from. Everybody's heard of it. But yeah. So I started off working on hemoglobin, actually in the Amazon in fish. But,
wow.
So long story, but we're not going to go through the whole story. But I ended up getting my degree working on hemoglobins. And then I did a postdoc at Johns Hopkins. And then I went to work for the Navy because they wanted a blood substitute for combat casualty care. So I started on that process and spent about 5 years there and then went into the commercialization phase. We had a liposome encapsulated hemoglobin, basically a synthetic red cell. We weren't able to get that far enough along, and we went to a simpler system. And that at Baxter, we took all the way to phase 3 clinical trials, and that failed.
It's painful, yeah.
15 years behind that, everything into that. And then I went to work as a consultant for another company that was trying to do the same thing up in Canada, Hemosol. And then for another company in Cambridge, BioPure, Cambridge, Mass. And eventually everybody just gave up and we all threw in the towel. I thought everybody had thrown in the towel. And I started at that point, a biotech incubator in Beverly, Mass, called InnoVentures, which most people who don't know what it is assume it's a venture capital firm, and it's not. It's a nonprofit. And basically what we do is we find someone to help repeat.
So
that's what we do.
This is your life's work.
Yeah, this is it. That's why Bullpen resonated like it did. So I started that in 2008. And then in 2018, with my husband tugging at my sleeve, I passed the baton to a new CEO and retired. And
it seems like you're doing great at that right now. The retirement thing.
Right. Yeah, retirement. Yeah. First slide I showed was 6 companies that I'm working with. I'm on the board of, and one of them was the company that came into the incubator to develop a blood substitute. And so when I finished up that stint, that segment of my career running the incubator, they asked me to be on their board. And I said, sure, because that's what I'd spent my life at. And then I also accepted some other board positions over the next couple of years. But the board position with VirTech Bio has been, it's the 80-20 rule, right? 20% of the portfolio, 80% of my time.
Yeah.
And when we, on the board, we ended up choosing to let the former CEO go. And so I was involved in finding the next CEO, because I had a lot of history with it. And we are, of course, like every other startup, trying to raise money.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what this startup does now that you've gotten us to where you are now? I'd love to hear more about
Okay, so this is a blood substitute. It's a temporary blood substitute. It is a product that's derived from red cells. The hemoglobin is purified and polymerized so that it lasts in the circulation for a while, not nearly as long as a transfusion. It will last a day, and that's
gets you to the next phase.
Gets you. It's a bridge to transfusion. The product is called OxyBridge for a reason, but that's the point. And the military wants this badly. In fact, the Army has we have non-dilutive funding of $13.7 million that's gone into the company. Most of that from the Army.
Yeah.
And our CEO is former command surgeon in Iraq and former head of combat casualty care research for the Army, person who really knows.
Has seen the lives this could have saved had they had it. Yeah.
Exactly. And he is passionate about doing this. So the product is, unlike red cells, it has no blood type. Unlike red cells, it doesn't have to be refrigerated. It's room temperature storage. So you can put it in a medic's backpack. You can stick it on an ambulance. BARDA wants it for emergencies. They want it to stockpile. And
Well, it's the kind of thing from mountain resorts, you could have it at, like it has a lot of civilian applications in addition to the military.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Every EMT I've ever talked to says, I want it now. Right. So, but yeah, we're working on it. I'd love to give it to you now, but we can't. So that's where we are. We are in almost GMP. We're almost to the point of having our GMP product for our phase 1 clinical trial. So that's where it's at.
And as we've talked about, you're very familiar with the find someone, help them, repeat, but this is your turn to ask for help.
Right.
So we have the Bullpen community, we have the entire LinkedIn community that sees this. If this resonates with somebody, and I have a feeling it will with a lot of folks out there, what can they do to help you bring this to market? What would your ask be?
Well, we're raising a Series A. And right now we have a venture capital firm that as soon as they are able to close on their round, they will put $5 million in. We need $7 million. So there's $2 million left for that Series A. So I'd love to have somebody come in. I've got a convertible note open. Would love to talk to somebody about that. The other element that can help, I have several other companies I'm working with, but let me mention that the incubator that I work with, somebody follow Innoventure Labs on LinkedIn, and I can be reached best on LinkedIn.
Perfect.
And anybody who's trying to reach me on LinkedIn, please mention Bullpen, because that'll help me orient. Because
where they saw it and
where they
else.
saw it, but that would be very helpful.
And you know what you talked about here and probably what they want.
Yeah, probably so. And I have various other companies that are doing other things. So, and everybody that's at the incubator, it's like, I'm still trying to help that whole crowd. So, and I have to say, this is a strange way to retire. I'm still
you don't
at
seem
my
like
computer.
You retired.
No, not really. But I love this. It's really wonderful. So
that's the great thing. It doesn't seem like work. It's not work, right? Because you're helping to bring something forward, and
sometimes it's
something
work.
You're passionate about. Well, that's true. But that makes the hard days good days.
Raising money is hard. Yeah.
Well, Bullpen's going to help with that.
Okay. Super. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for taking the time. And as you said, find her on LinkedIn. Our amazing producer, Dawn, is very good about, as we get our videos up, making sure that your LinkedIn's there. Everyone can find you. They tag you. So it'll be super easy. Great. So if you liked what you saw, just check out the text going with this. Find the company on LinkedIn, find the incubator on LinkedIn, get everything together, and find Martha on LinkedIn.
Yes.
Follow her.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.